Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Chris, the podcast. I'm Matthew Farromby and I'm here with my dad.
Sunday Farromby. Welcome.
Just gonna hop right into it, I think. So the first article I'm seeing here is basically the headline. It says, "Entitled customer throws fit over video game console." I don't know if you've had the chance to read over this one yet.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was actually, when I saw the headline, I was wondering exactly what's going on. Throws a fit over a video game console, and it looks like something about pre-ordering, and he did not pre-order, right?
Yeah, so a lot of times when these games drop, when people pre-order it, they either get it shipped or they get it the option to pick it up in store. So I think for this one, just to summarize what happened here, there was a pre-order for the new game console, and everyone who had pre-ordered it was going to pick it up at a certain day, and they were told that it's only the people who pre-ordered were going to get the console. Yeah. But this person did not pre-order it, did not even order it at all, as far as I know. Shows up there and was told like the same thing, that unless you pre-order it, you cannot get the console. And once he was told that, that's when he starts to freak out that like I should be able to buy it, like things like that.
Yeah, I think he said he called 2 or 3 weeks earlier. He called to ask about it, but he did not order.
Right, yeah.
He was told that we needed to pre-order in order for it to arrive at that time. He did not pre-order, so I believe he believed, or he claimed, that the fact that he called 2 weeks before entitled him
a spot.
Yeah, entitled him, and they were telling him, you did not order, you did not pre-order.
Yeah.
Why do you expect that you get?
Because a lot of times with pre-order, you pay at that moment for it, or sometimes you can pay later. But
do you pay everything, or it's just kind of a down payment?
I think you pay everything. If you're pre-ordering it, you're gonna pay the full amount at that point.
So he did not pay. Right?
Yeah, so he did not pay, and even with pre-orders, it says here, and it's the case for a lot of stores, all the stock is reserved for those who pre-order. Yes. So even if they wanted to, they'll be taken away from people who had pre-ordered it. So it wouldn't make sense for them to just like let people who didn't pre-order.
Well, maybe the guy was thinking that the order that comes into the store will be more than the pre-orders, right? So maybe if you have 100 units pre-ordered, and when the shipment comes, you get 150.
Right.
So, and he is thinking, okay, I should be able to get something even though I didn't pre-order.
Yeah, but I mean, if that's the case, I don't know why he would get mad about it then.
Yeah.
Because he was told the exact same thing. Like, yeah, you would have had to pre-order it, so it doesn't make sense for him to get angry.
The one that was actually interesting to me was when I think he said something about, okay, I want to pre-order it now. And it looks like the store clerk was wondering, okay, pre-order means it's not available yet.
Yeah.
Before you are pre-ordering it before it comes out. It's already out now. You cannot pre-order it right now. And you can place an order right now, and then it will come when it comes.
Yeah, so the direct quote from the article says, "I'm sorry, we cannot take pre-orders as it's now after release day. We're unable to take orders as we cannot guarantee when we will receive stock back since the product is in high demand." And then the customer straight up says that's a lie, which I don't know what he means by that. And then he goes on to say, "It's like, I was here 2 weeks ago, was told if I pre-ordered, I was guaranteed one on the day of release."
It was kind of incriminating himself when he said that.
So the person who works there is like, at this point, he's thinking he might have misunderstood the customer. So he's like, ask again. It's like, oh, did you pre-order? Do you have like the order slip or receipt? And then the customer goes, no, I don't have a receipt. He's like, you should have one for me because I inquired about wanting one weeks ago. He's like, either give me one or order one for me now.
Yeah, that's I don't know the mindset of somebody. Actually, when I was reading this, I was thinking, is this story made up? Yeah. Because it's kind of seems made up. Because it doesn't seem to me that any rational, reasonable thinking person will behave that way. But hey, who defines what rationality is?
Yeah, and I feel like you see, it could be made up or it could be true. I'm not sure about either one. But even working, a lot of people who worked retail, and I worked retail for a little bit, you get all kinds of people who feel entitled to certain
Entitled,
things. So,
Yeah, it's possible. Maybe he's never been told no in his life, and that's why he's freaking out. Well, that's something to think about. All right, maybe anybody in our audience have had any kind of experience like that? No, let us know.
yeah.
All right, what's our main theme for today?
So there's another article I'm seeing here. It basically says, "I'm a millionaire, but I hide my wealth from my family."
Oh yeah,
I don't know if you got the chance to look at that
I
one
did.
either.
That one was kind of interesting. Actually, when I started to read it, I was wondering what exactly was going on. But I think if you read through the story, it looks like the person and the family, they don't live in the same country. That's what I gathered eventually. They don't live in the same country. So anytime his family is coming to visit him, he he rents an apartment, a lesser apartment that looks much
Yeah, so I think
lesser than
some of
where
it, he
normally
says he
lives.
owns a penthouse, but
Yes.
whenever they come into town, he rents a small apartment that makes it look like he earns less than they actually have.
Well, what was his reason for trying to hide everything from them?
So I'm trying to read over again, kept trying to remember exactly what happened with it, but basically, even when, because he said he started his business, and that's when he started making money. But before that, even when he was working for a company, he said that when he told his family how much he made, that they said he was rich and that they deserved, I think, either his first paycheck or a paycheck every month. Was
I think it was his first paycheck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That he should be giving it to them, or that they're entitled to some of it. And he said they were even asking him to contribute to his siblings' school fees.
I think one thing also that I remember is that when he told them his salary, and that's how I knew that they were from a different country. They, in their heads, did a calculation and converted the money
To their own currency.
to their own
Yeah,
currency, and
which
thought,
is-
oh, this is a big amount of money. What they do not realize is that he's not spending that money in that country. He's spending it wherever the country is. I think maybe somewhere in Europe. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It seems he's spending it there. He's earning the money there. He's spending it there. So the cost of living is high.
Cost of living and even just taxes. I don't know if he told them the pre-tax
That's
amount
true.
or
The
post.
taxes that he has to pay. But the funny thing is this. What first caught my attention actually was when he said they told him that he has to give them his first salary, which he did, right? I think he did that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he did.
And that
yeah.
happens in some cultures. That actually happens in some cultures. Actually, in my Yoruba culture in Nigeria, that's typically what happens. When a child gets a job, the thinking is that the first salary is given to the parents in appreciation of everything they've done for them. But it's not really for the parents. The parents take it and shares it with the extended family members. They share it just to celebrate with them. So when I saw that, I was actually thinking, okay, is this guy from Nigeria? Well, it looks like he's not. But that may be happening in other cultures, different cultures also. So personally, because I'm aware of that, I didn't see anything unusual about that. And I know for most people, it would seem unusual. But there are cultures where it's a sign of respect to your parents when you are out of school, you get your job, your first job, your very first salary. You just give it to them. You give it to your parents as a sign of appreciation. But like I said, it's not even just for the parents. The parents now share it with aunties, uncles, extended family members, something like that. So that's kind of interesting. But after that, it seems that anytime they come around, they expect him to pay for everything.
Pay for everything.
To pay for their flights to come in, to pay for whatever it is when they go out,
Right. All expenses.
which also I don't. It's unusual for most of us in the Western world, but I don't think it's unusual when you have guests. When you have guests who come to visit you, get international guests, you take them out, you bear the cost.
Yeah,
right?
I definitely get the hosting part of it, especially if they're visiting him. But also part of the article said that he said he thinks it's funny because when he was a student, he had to work 2 jobs to support himself, and he said he barely got a text or a call from his family during that time. Yeah. So it wasn't until they found out that he started making money that they started like that communication. So I think that plays a big part of it too. In that, there's definitely both sides.
That's definitely part of it. When you are not communicating, you are not interacting with the person. Now, do you think they are rich because of their jobs? It is kind of similar thing that happens with people who win the lottery, for example. When you win the lottery, I think a few days ago, somebody in California won $1 billion or something in the lottery. When you win the lottery, from the stories we've heard, it looks like suddenly you begin to find out all the cousins, aunties, and uncles that you didn't know before that you had.
Right.
They start coming out. Everybody's now related to you. That's the thing with money or with riches. It attracts all kind of characters.
Right.
Yeah. But it's kind of interesting though that his family, they were not communicating before. They did not help him when he was going to school. So he saw himself through school, and now that he's quote unquote rich, and they expect him to foot the bill for everything. But what's also interesting to me is how he's hiding the thing from them. So he's not coming out to say, you know what, I'm not doing this. Maybe they want to offend or something.
Right.
He's not doing that. So he's hiding. He has a penthouse. But anytime they are coming to visit, I think he said he asks his assistant to rent a small apartment. And then he has things in his suitcase, old stuff that he would just take there, and he would tell them he has changed apartment from the last time they came. And I'm just wondering the dynamics there. Why he's hiding? Well, maybe
he definitely seems like
hiding.
the type of person that doesn't want confrontation. That he just like to avoid being confronted or just being having to make up excuses or things like that. He was just like, well, let me just make it look like I don't have money, just so they won't say anything. I guess so.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Those kind of relationships, especially when it comes to family. Unfortunately, if it's friends, if you have friends that are like that, they're kind of like leeches off of you. You can easily cut them off. You can cut friends off, but family, it's difficult. It's difficult. They are your family. They are your flesh and blood. Yes. Maybe what he's doing is the best way he knows to do it. Like you said, he doesn't like confrontation. He doesn't want to tell them that, no, I'm not doing this. Doesn't want to get into an argument or something like that. So it's interesting. It is interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely the fact that, like he said, before he supposedly had money, they didn't even contact him. So it's that. I think we talked about this before, that sense of entitlement, that they feel like since he's rich now, they're owed a portion of that for life, I guess. Because I think any most reasonable people would want to give back to their family. But I think it's the dynamic changed, and he can see the both sides of like, well, when I didn't have money, they did it almost wanted nothing to do with him until he started getting money, that now they're wanting to be close and wanting to have a part of that now.
Well, I think eventually it looks like he told them he lost his job, right? He told them he lost his job. That's when he quit the job, the original job that he had that they thought he was very rich. He quit the job, so he started doing his own business. And the business is now doing well, so he quit the original job. So he was able to tell them that he lost his job. And then I think they stopped calling him also, right?
Yeah, he said they stopped reaching out, and they wouldn't reach out unless he reached out, basically. So it was only very one sided. And then I think later on he told them that he finally found a job, but it wasn't paying very well. So just to again avoid the questions of the confrontation.
So does that mean they are not visiting as much as they used to visit anymore? Or
So what I'm seeing at the end here, it says now when they visit, they pay for their own flights and they don't go out as much. He says he also rents a small apartment and tells them where he lives. Although he actually lives in a penthouse, he uses public transport to go to them. Yeah.
that is great. Okay, now if we look at ourselves, you know, for maybe for me and you, if maybe me and your mom are doing something like that to you, how will you respond?
I mean, me, I'll just delete your number and block it.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I want
We
to
know where you live.
Yeah, you can show up and the door will be locked.
Oh, it doesn't matter. We know when you come back from work too. We know when to get to your place.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I don't have it's tougher when it's family, but I feel like if people are not treating you properly, you have every reason to distance yourself from them. And even if they're family, yes, you can still love them from a distance, but I think there's certain situations where you have to do that, though. So.
I think I agree. I think that's definitely true. You have to. What most families don't realize, especially maybe parents of adult children, is that their children are now adults. They have their own life to live. Mm-hmm. So you can't call the shots for them anymore, just like you were doing when they were little. Now you have to just let them be and let them do their own thing. Yes, if they add value to you, if they do something for you, great, it's a blessing. And if they don't, or they don't have the means to do it, just let them be. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting that in some families you will have situations like the one we're discussing where there's a demand of some level of entitlement. We're talking about the guy who wanted the video console,
right.
Talking about he felt entitled to it even though he did not pre-order it. And it seemed like it's something similar here, with the family,
right.
At least. But here's one thing though. As terrible as the story seems to me, we're only hearing one side of it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that the family is not culpable or they are not guilty of what they're saying, but you'll be surprised what you will hear when you hear the other side.
Right.
So sometimes it may be helpful for us to hear both sides, to see what's going on, and to be able to to really figure out what exactly is happening.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be interested to hear that side of it, and even their reasoning for, I guess, not having proper communication when he wasn't as rich, or nothing. Maybe sometimes, like you said, one side is kind of, it only plays that one side, so you can only hear from their perspective. So sometimes people can have a little bit of a bias when they're telling their own side of things.
Oh, most of us are biased when we tell our stories. We want it to be favorable to us. We whether it's intentional or not, we tend to demonize the other person, especially when we disagree with them. We tend to paint or portray ourselves in positive light and paint them in negative light. Sometimes the way we do things, even in instances when we may be guilty of something, we try to justify ourselves and paint them the other way. So it happens to everybody. Most of us, it takes a little bit of self-awareness to understand that we do that. People do that.
Right.
And it's just something for us to think about. In which ways are we culpable when things like this happen?
Yeah. Also, there was a quote from the article that I thought was funny. He said that they walk around the neighborhood where he actually lives and fantasize what it would be like to live in those places.
Yeah.
Which is funny because he actually lives there. So in his heart, he knows that, oh, well, I probably have the most expensive penthouse in one of these places.
I think he's the one, he takes them there, right? Or do they walk around there? Or
It doesn't say, it just says that we go for a walk around the neighborhood where he actually lives. So maybe they want to go there, or maybe he brings them there. I don't know what details.
I wonder
of that.
if as you said it, I started wondering, what if? Well, this is what if. He obviously did not do that. Mm-hmm. What if one of the days he told them that, oh, I have a friend who lives there, and then he takes them to his own penthouse.
Yeah.
And well, to be able to do that, he has to have removed a lot of personal stuff, because they may see things there that they would know belongs to him.
Yeah.
Maybe photos or something. So I think that's kind of a risky thing to do.
Yeah. And I wonder if, like I said, we're only hearing one side, but if people like that, if they know he has a friend that has money, if he'll tell them that, oh, maybe you should ask your friend if he can give us some money, or I don't know, but
well, it's one of those things, and I'm wondering for people in our audience if they have experienced something like that, if they have seen situations like the ones we're talking about, whether it's friends or families who feel entitled to something that they have, who feel that you have to do this, or you must do something for me in order for us. Well, they are not saying that in order to continue their relationship. They are saying because of our relationship. They are not voicing it out. Because of our relationship, I'm entitled to this. So I'm wondering if any one of you have friends, family members who have behaved in that way, and drop us a line, let us know.
Yeah. So I'll change the topic. Did you hear about the Twitter is changing its name now?
Yeah, actually, I woke up this morning. Well, at least the time we're recording this, I woke up this morning to find out that Twitter is no longer Twitter. It's now X. X.com. And it's strange. And I saw the feed that I saw. There's somebody responding to it and said, "Well, Elon Musk has the right to call it whatever he wants, and it's a free speech country, and I have the right to call it Twitter."
Yeah, I saw a tweet yesterday, because that was when he started telling people, or tweeting out that he's going to change the name, and then there's a tweet that says, "I'm still going to call it Twitter," or something that went pretty viral.
Yeah.
So
that's I'm wondering, did you? No, I'm not very very frequent on Twitter. Do you know the rationale behind it, the thinking behind it?
I don't know. I know he says he's always had some sort of obsession with the letter X, because X.com, I don't know if you knew, X is what merged to become PayPal. Is what he started, that merged to become, and that was like, I don't know, 20 something years ago. And then
he already owned the domain name.
Yeah, he already owned the domain name. And then even when he had like the Tesla Model X, and then he also had like other references to the letter X. So I don't know what his obsession is with that. But I know he's trying to rebrand, mainly because he talked about Twitter being like everything. Because I know I've heard is it called like WeChat or something that has like, I don't know, mobile banking. You can do all this stuff in there.
Yeah, this is in China or where?
I think it's in some sort of Asian country, if not a lot of them. But it's like an everything app. So it has like everything from banking and payments to like tweets and chat and video chat.
Well, definitely everything you want to do in your life, it's on that.
It's on that same app. So I think he's mentioned before how he wants to do that. So I think the rebrand is to move into this direction, probably. So
yeah, but maybe also there's a lot of backlash against Twitter now, with especially since he took over. Since he took over, there has been a lot of backlash. Some of the accounts that were banned because of disseminating false information or things like that he has unbanned them, kind of. And some people are not happy about that. I'm also wondering if this rebranding to X also has to do with Meta coming out with Threads.
Yeah.
Threads supposed to be competition to Twitter, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I feel like the rebranding, the reception to it, at least as of now, hasn't been good. Most people don't care for it. And especially since Twitter, it's like Twitter and tweets. So it's like you tweet something. So now that's X, it's like, what is it going to be called? There's a lot of things that are just weird about it.
You exit.
So, and even if you wanted to do the everything app, I feel like you could do that separately or somehow integrate it with that. But turning it into that, I feel like is just a weird
I think
move.
it is. I don't know. Maybe it's just a move to compete with Threads. At least I don't know much about Threads yet. But when it came out last week or a couple of weeks ago, I understand that within a few days they had more than 100 or 200 million.
Yeah, they
people
hit
sign
like
up.
100 million within a couple of days, I think. But it also helped because it was integrated with Instagram. So whenever you download the app, you can just hit like 2 buttons and you have an account. So it's not like you're typing your name, email, password, and all that
Oh,
stuff.
okay. And a lot of people are already on Instagram, so
Yeah,
it's easy to.
it's easy to make the
A
jump.
lot of people using Threads now.
I mean, I have it. I haven't used it as much. I don't even remember to check it half the time. But
It's going to take a while for people who are already used to Twitters and people who have a huge following like yourself.
yeah,
You have to build up that following again.
yeah. I think the people who have the big followings, a lot of people, of course, they don't have as much as they would have on Twitter, but a lot of people did make the move, and the interface is almost exactly like Twitter, so it's easier to get used to, and it's simpler. The only thing is that you can't, as of now, you can't see the tweets or the threads, I guess, of the people you follow. So there's just like a For You tab, and it just shows like related threads or things like that. And the people you follow will be within there, but it's not only them. It's like a bunch of different
Other people.
stuff there. Yeah.
Okay, is that supposed to be changes coming to that, or is that how that's supposed to operate going forward?
I don't know. I'm guessing that they will probably implement some sort of page like that, because otherwise there's almost no point of following people if you can't actively see what they're or only see what they're posting. But yeah, I don't know. That was the one feedback I heard from people when they first got it, that you can see things of people you follow. But
All right, a lot of stuff going on. And, well, anything else you have for today?
no, I don't think so.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Well, guys, this has been another episode of Crisps, the podcast. As always, give us a like on YouTube, leave us a rate or review on Spotify and Apple, and we'll see you guys next time.
See you next time.